All right, so we are building today a 12 by 20 pergola. It is by a company called Beaumont. We got it off of Wayfair, and we think it looks beautiful, so we'll see how it turns out. But essentially, I think it's going to take us maybe 5 hours. So it's 9:26 right now. I imagine maybe by 2:30 we'll be done. And then all of a sudden, and you'll pan over and something will be there. Anyway, some things that we know for sure we will need. Come over here for this job is a hammer drill driver, just because we're going to be going into cement, so this thing helps with that. For sure, a Makita impact drill. I use this thing for every job that I do. Make sure you got extra battery, something fresh. Absolutely, you're going to need a level to make sure that you're all square. And so yeah, this is the space that we're going to be doing it in. You'll notice a giant stain on here. We just moved this spa from here to there. It was actually pretty easy. We used some PVC pipes, put it underneath, rolled it over. So I'm going to pressure wash this first. But this is the area that we're going to set up today for this pergola. Oh, also, if you're old like me, you'll need some biofreeze and for your back, and you'll need a grande dark roast, one shot. That's it. All right, so give me about 5 hours with my son Noah, who's behind the camera right there, and you're gonna see this thing transform. We're gonna mark this out. It is a 20 by 12 foot pergola, but where the wood pillars hit, the distance is 18 feet by 10 feet. The roof's a little bit wider, and that makes it a 20 by 12. But we're going to mark out where the wood hits the concrete. So it's 18 feet across by 10 feet deep. And I'm going to center it on this wall. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Essentially, we're going to measure with the tape 10, measure with the tape 18. But what's most important is that you measure across and make sure that your marks across match. Because you can have the thing shifted or compressed or a little bit off center, and the measurements across diagonally will be off. So that's really important when you're measuring it out. Alright, so we got everything laid out, and now it's time to get to the actual drilling. So first step, you take these little cap pieces here, you're going to pre-drill with an 1/8 inch drill bit, and then you'll screw in these screws. So we're going to do that to all of these beams. Everything's labeled on them, which is really cool. This is P01, P03, P02, and everything has been laid out in such a way where you know exactly what the next step is. So let's hit this first. So we got done with that first step, we put that off to the side, and now we're working on like the cross beam section right now. These horses are really great for this, and so we're gonna actually move to what is called step 5 and step 6. And essentially it's just putting these 3 pieces together, this on top of here, this underneath, and they have all the screws and the brackets to put it together. So now we're moving on. All right, so we're on to the next step. We finished those first 2 braces. We're moving on. A lot of it's rinse and repeat, so I won't go through every step. But what you'll find is these pieces right here, which you'll use over and over and over again in varying lengths, barely fit. So you'll need this mallet here to knock in this piece right here. You see the teeth on that piece right there? What you'll do is flip this board over. Let me do that now. You'll flip this board over so that way these guys are kind of in there, and I would lightly use a rubber mallet because this wood, it's great, it's dry, but it could split. And I'll just barely tap that in there. Otherwise, when you're trying to put the pieces together, like I'll do for one that I didn't tap in, can you give me one more of those right there? Yes. You'll notice, because the teeth aren't sunk into wood, like it won't bite, it'll just spin. All right, so it barely bites. Sometimes you have to just really force it down. But this makes it a lot easier if you tap it in. Now you can see it's lifted a little bit because I knocked that in, and boom. Alright, so it got a little hot. Both me and my son put on our Bass Pro fishing hats. We're not sponsored. We would like to be. We love that spot. But anyways, just a couple updates. Right now we're attaching the joists to these posts. And what's happening is you really got to check, even though there's 4 holes up here like you can see to put the joist attached to the joist, there's also, and you can't really see it in the diagram, but there's also a hole to attach this arm of the joist. And so you want to make sure that when you're doing it, you are flipping it around to see where they are. As you can see right here, there's these 2 holes right here, which is what I need. So I need these facing in for this step. It's essentially step 11. Also, what we just did, step 8. It's important because you have those arms off of the joist to attach. So I lied, it actually took me a whole lot longer to finish this thing up. Almost like 9:30 last night. We were hanging the lights and screwing in the millions of screws that go across this way. All the screws are there. They've been set in. I just have to knock down a few more of them. So I'm going to do that this morning and then move all of this furniture. We kind of started to get it near here and staged it, but all of that furniture is going to be placed here. So maybe another couple hours, hour or so, and I'll be done. right, so everything has been screwed in up top, finally, and I just have a couple more things to do. I've been saying that over and over again, just a few more things. But it's all the base plates to mount this pergola to the concrete, and then this backyard discovery power supply that I'm gonna mount to this post on the far side. So just those things, then I'll finally bring in all the furniture. Okay, so this is the final stretch, and I'm just gonna mount this right here on this post. It comes with a little sheet that has a center line and then your marks to pre-drill your holes, and then this essentially just slides on like a picture. So we're mostly complete. I have leveled everything off, measured it to make sure that we're still good, took my level and put it up against each post, and it's looking beautiful. So what's next to do is get a masonry bit and put it into the ground, but unfortunately my 3/16 masonry bit, which I broke on the last job, is not in my toolbox, so I'm gonna have to go to Home Depot, get that done. But I'm just gonna wrap this up for right now, move some of the furniture over just so I can get it mostly there, and then I'll finish that later off camera. But it's been fun to be able to film this and then explain a few things on the way, and I'm gonna do more of this. I love building projects, and I am not good at these things. I just have really high belief, and I like to figure out how things work. And so if you're like me and just on a weekend you like to build a thing, or you have an idea and you're trying to figure out how does it work, maybe we can just figure these things out together. And I'd love to show you, bring you along in my journey of making my home what I would love it to be, which is something that we think is beautiful, but something that we also want to add our own personal flavor to as we build things and design different rooms in the house. All right, so let me give you a look at where it's at right now. We've just added a few things, the umbrella, the lounge chairs, and we love it. So what's left to do in the immediate future is a bunch of planter boxes along the edge, because we have all of these rocks along the edge. But I've got stuff to build that, and that'll be the next project. But anyways, thanks for watching.